Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque. Painting live at 6 p.m. on Sunday, May 18th. And I'm just getting my phones and tablets going here. So I guess I need to check if it's supposed to be the 18th, but I believe it is. Happening now, yep. All right. Oh, come on. All we got to do now is get to the post. Okay, so our class today is on finishing painting our wolves that we were dry brushing. So this is our finished piece. This is our piece we were working on. Was live. We're still supposed to be live. What was going on? It says live. Okay, well hopefully we're still... Hopefully we're still live here. Why doesn't it go on the screen full? I'm not sure what it's doing here today. Can you guys hear me? I guess that's the first thing we'll start with. Oh, you stupid thing. Why it's doing that. I don't know if we're live or not, you guys. This thing's acting up. So it looks like you guys can see me. Can you guys hear me? It's not letting me make it bigger. I'm not sure what it's doing. Okay, well I guess we're just gonna go and see what happens. Hopefully you can see me. You can hear me. All right, well that's what we're gonna do then. All right, so this is our piece that we're working on. We were working on the wolves themselves last week. And so this week we're going to do we kind of finished those for the most part. So this week we will do the eyes. Okay, so I'm getting thumbs up, so we're good. All right, so we're gonna do eyes. Because that's kind of the big thing for everybody always. So we are gonna need black. I don't know why this phone isn't working here today. So our black is OS476. OS476. And I'm going to put some on my foil. And just try one more time here. just switch and come back and see if I can get it on this phone so I can see the comments. All right, let's try that. All right, so then I have my favorite eyeliner, which is my 458520 made by Silver Falcon. I'm going to go into the water and get it conditioned so that the paint doesn't dry up inside it. And so this eye just has a little line on it, so I'm going to put a drop of water into my black here on the side and kind of mix it up so it's more like ink, so that it flows off of the brush really nice. Then I pull through, turn and lift, pull, turn, lift, pull, turn, lift to load those bristles, pull, turn, lift, and put a nice point on them. And that will help give me a nice thin line. And so let's make sure we're in, excuse me, in the screen here. And let me take another piece of candy because I still have this cough that's going on 6 weeks. All right, so this guy's eye is shut. And so we just want a nice little fine line. So I'm just gonna touch down. Oh, not enough. Reload. So I just want to touch down really lightly and have just a really fine line outlining that eye. So that's good. All right, now I'm going to go to my thicker part, paint and load with that, my thicker black. And I like to fill in my eyes with black, not white. Some people will do white. I prefer to do it this way with the black. So you have to do whichever way works best for you. So there's a big blob on the end of there, so I'm just going to pat my paper towel because I don't want a big blob on the end of there because we'll have paint everywhere. Let's get over here so you guys can see. And I'm just going right to the outline of the eye and making it all black. Brushing it out good. And then I look at it from both directions now. When I was looking at it the other way, it looks, when I turn it, it looks like I need to come down just a little bit further over here in this corner. All right, so I'm going to pull, turn, and lift. Come over here to this eye and do this one. Now this eye is a little bit bigger than that one. That's kind of just the way it looks in the mold. You can just see where the eye outline is. And then we're going to fill it in with the black. And you want to have your piece on a solid surface, and then you want to rest your painting hand onto your piece so you have a nice steady hand. Nothing's moving. And I'm just painting that outline that the mold gives us for the eye. Okay, so I'm going to wash out that brush. For this guy, I got to put my box pieces out of the way so I can get to my paint rack. So wolves, I guess, have like a golden eye color. And so let me see if I can find my gold on my rack here. So I used gold next, which is our OS 436. And we're going to put a drop of that on our foil. Again, that's the gold. And I'm going to probably put a drop of water in that just to thin it a little bit so it flows really well off my brush. Stir that up. Pull, turn, lift, pull, turn, lift, pull, turn, lift to load it. And we need that to dry a little bit. So while that's drying, I guess I'll show you something. Let me reach for it here. So our subscribers for May actually received this laminated eye chart that I made. It was made by me, like I painted each one, and So on the top half, we have step-by-step human eyes and looking right, looking left, looking cross-eyed, and then we have our round eyes. We have like owl eyes up here. We have like dragon and frog eyes here. We have eyes that are on the side of an animal's head, like say a goose or a bird. And so you do your highlights in different areas. We have the big round eyes, like for a dog, a horse, a cow. And then we kind of have our cartoon eyes again with looking right, looking left, and looking cross-eyed. And so this is on my website to purchase. It is laminated. And with that, you will get the liner that I'm currently using, which is this. This is the 5.0, and I'm actually using the 20.0, but a lot of people probably prefer this 5.0. So that is on the website, Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bits, to purchase. Like I said, it is two-sided, and it's the step-by-step eye chart that I made along with one of my favorite 4 liners for doing eyes. So that's that right there. So hopefully our eye is dry now. Not quite. So you can purchase that on there. Can you move up higher? Can mainly see water bucket only. Like I have my phone on, like I can see. I'll have to see here when we switch to the eye. So I'm just trying to get this to dry. I see what you say. I think my phone's falling out is what's really wrong. Hold on, you guys. Wrong button on the phone. Let's see. Looks like we're still live. Hopefully 911 isn't calling me back. I don't know why it did that. So I'm trying to move it so it's easier. Let's see here. Why is it? So I need to move the phone down if you guys are getting too much of the water bucket. Okay, let's try that. All right, so what we're going to do is put a gold crescent on the bottom part of this eye. And it doesn't matter what the gold looks like in here. What we want to be careful with is we want to have a really fine black outline, like eyeliner. And so we're going to bring our gold along the eye there. And then up a little bit. And so what I'm focusing on is this little black outline, the little black outline of the eye. And then we're going to fill that in with gold, the color gold, not the metallic gold. Comments is covering up what you're demonstrating. Then you have to shut the comments off. Like I can't help that. I can't do horizontal with Facebook. I can only do vertical. So you have to shut the comments off if they're in the way. All right, so now I'm getting my really fine black line. You don't want a really big line, because then it just looks like too much black. And when I talk about the fine line, it's the black outline of the eye. We're having phone issues here with Cellcom. Like we haven't been able to make calls since last Wednesday. And so there could be phone issues if it's cutting out. I don't know if they got hacked or what, but it's a major problem going on. So I'm not going to get it all gold because some of it's going to be black. All right, and now we want to do the same thing on this other eye. And again, what I want to focus on is letting that really thin black outline. Some people will paint the eyes white and then come back and try to put that really skinny black line in. I don't like doing that. It's just too hard. And so I paint my eye black and then kind of work with the outline here by putting the color over it and kind of right up to it. And for me, that works the best. So you have to do what works best for you. I gotta sit this down so it's steadier. And so we're gonna get into that corner. And again, this outline of the whole eye is what you want to have nice and skinny. If you want it more dramatic, you can have it blacker. I prefer to not have it real dramatic, so I try to do that pretty skinny. And now I'm going to fill in with gold. And if you're not sure of animal eyes, you can go online and look up, do a search for animals and look at their different eye colors. Like, that's a great reference for you. All right, so now I'm just filling my gold in so I have good coverage. I don't worry about the black on the top part because we're gonna be putting black to make it look right. I'm just more worried about this little skinny line of black that's outlining it. Now I can see through my gold on the first eye, so I'm just gonna come back and put another little layer. Okay. And then put another little layer on this one. Right, now we have to let that dry. I'm going to wash out this brush. Now we need to go to the white, which is our OS 431. All right, so we need our gold to dry. That looks pretty dry. Again, I'm going to go into my water, add it. See that drop rolled off of there? I'm going to stir that up. You want it kind of like ink, not water, but like ink. So I'm stirring that up. I wiped my brush on my paper towel so there's no water at the top of the brush to run down it. And now I'm going to pull, turn, and lift. And actually, that's the wrong color. I needed black. But we're going to go. Sorry, you guys, like I hit the 911 thing. Never had. Talk about a nightmare. Okay, sorry you guys, like I hit 911 when I was trying to move in the phone before, and now they called to verify I'm fine, and they might be knocking on the door too yet. So, all right, back to our eye. We're going back to our black, which is OS 476. We're going to put our black portion in our eye now. And so you can determine how big or small you want that. I go probably, it all depends too if you want them looking up or looking down or looking straight. I kind of want them looking straight. So we're not going to go all the way down, but just over half. And then I want it kind of even on both sides. Okay, and now we're going to do the same on the other side. And you want your gold about the same thickness on this side as on the other side. And you do have to like turn your piece. Turn your piece so you can make it handy to do. All right, so I'm just filling in that black now. So now what I want to do is compare the thickness of my gold from eye to eye and from corner to corner. So now this one's got a little bit more gold on it than the other side. So I'm going to bring it down, the black down just a touch. Which may have been a touch too much, but okay, so that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to take my gold and put a little bit of gold in the corner of the white over here so I can make a shade lighter of highlight. So I have my white here, so I'm just putting a little gold into my white right here. And it's easier to mix than putting the white into the gold. It would take a lot more, so I'm just putting the gold into the white. And then I'm going to kind of load my brush. And now I'm going to add a little highlight underneath, like where the gold and the black meet. And it's just going to be like a big comma line. I mean, it's really a little comma line, but because you don't want it too thick and too big. So I'm just going like right along where the gold and the black meet. So that's our highlight in our colored part there. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to bring it out a little bit further so it's a little bit stronger. So anytime I'm doing eyes, maybe like human eyes, say they're blue eyes, I'll do the same thing. I'll take my eye color and mix it with a little bit of white for like that extra highlight in the eye. So it's real soft looking. All right, so let's wash that out. And now I just put a dot of white, like at 1 o'clock. So now these eyes are on the face of the piece, the front of the animals. And so they'll both go at the same position at 1 o'clock. Now, if they were on the side, like a bird, you do one at 1 o'clock and one at 11 o'clock. But when the eyes are on the front of the face, like a human, we're doing them both at 11 or both at 1, whatever you want to do with them. So that is our eyes. So I'll try to hold it up so you can see it better. So that is our eyes. Okay. Let's see. Then these teeth are just painted white. And again, I'll just use my liner for that. And you don't want to put your hand in your wet eyes so that you have to fix them. So be careful. So I'm just painting them. So even though a piece may be dry brushed, you can still do painting on it. Let's make sure we're in the thing here. Oh, where's the other one? Right here. So we're just painting it white. And then if you can see through your white, you want to go back and touch it up. And so well, this one's got a little crooked here, so we'll kind of straighten it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have our white done there. I'm waiting for the police to be knocking on the door, you guys, because I hit the stupid wrong button. All right. So then the next thing, like our wolves are for the most part done. So now I took a little bit bigger painting brush, a nylon one, or you can take the liner. Let's see, I guess I don't have one here. I have my, this is my other favorite brush, this size 5. So I'm going to dip it in the water, pat it out. So now I'm going to kind of, wherever there's a lot of color on my tree branches, like this has a lot of brown on it. I'm going to come back with my black and just try to cover that all up to where the branch meets the rock, and try to let that little black line that's between the branch and the rock. Now, I don't always go back and cover things up. Let's see, where's our comments? No comments. Oh boy. Let's see if we got comments up here. Nope, we got just watchers. But because these are they're so covered with the navy and the brown. Okay, you guys, I gotta get the door. Hold on. Hi I hit it by accident.
Okay.
I was moving the phone because I'm doing a live for Facebook and
Okay.
yeah, and I like it rang and I hit end and then she called and I told her, but yeah, sorry.
All right, no worries.
So,
we obviously just have to make sure,
yeah.
just to make sure there's nothing else going on. So.
No, just me.
All right, and your name was again?
Brenda.
Brenda.
Bartz. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. So don't hit the 911 by accident because they still send the police officer out to check on you. So that's the first time in 64 years. Oh boy, what a day. All right, so basically I'm just gonna line all of my trees out because they're pretty covered up with different colors, and so before we go to dry brush them, I want to get them lined out so they're nice and black again. Usually I don't have to do that. I just dry brush right over it. But because we got these little fine trees and I got so much covered, I tend to go back and paint over it. Oh, I got some cats fighting in the back. So this takes just a little bit and then it'll be dry and we can dry brush them. And then we can dry brush the back, which I kind of did a wet brushing more than a dry brushing. Now, if you're not good with a brush this size, like just go ahead and use your liner. And if you like that eye brush, like you can go on my website and purchase that and the laminated eye chart now, because I finally got that done after wanting to do that for a couple years. Cannot see a lot of the painting piece. I don't know where else to put it, you guys. What I can see on I have the tablet up and the phone up. It looks like you guys should be able to see it because I can see it on both of them. I'm not moving the phone again so that I hit 911 again. Like we've already had enough of that for today. So I'm just lining out the brushes, or the branches, not the brush, the branch with the brush. And like you got to keep changing it so you can get in the direction that you need to get your paint where you need to get your paint. So I'm just resting my hand on my piece, pulling the brush towards me, and going right where the two meet. And just putting that black back onto our branches. Okay. And you can see pretty much where it needs to go because there's always that little black crevice on there. It's just following the branches, painting it, brushing it out, painting them. Excuse me. You just want to pull that brush towards you. So this is a Kinze mold company rock. I do have quite a few of those molds. They are on the bisque is on the website. I have been pouring more of these. I'm not sure if they're out. I'll be updating them as soon as I finish firing a load. And then I've been painting some of the other ones. The eagle one. The lighthouse one is coming as soon as I get more poured. Because there was 2 on the shelf and I painted one, and so that only left 1. Now I'm painting the one with the covered bridge on it. And so I'm pouring that one too, because there was 2 on the shelf, and now there's, because I painted one, there's 1 on the shelf. So by the end of the week, actually the middle of the week, there'll be more on there. And then I'll put the directions for these on there as well. You can be able to purchase those as well. So you don't, like I said, you don't always have to go back and make areas black. But these little branches were just so covered with other colors. I like to go back and just get that black back on there. Especially like where the wolves are here, we have all these light colors on our branches. So we want to go back to our darkest color and then work from our dark to our light. If we left the light on there, it would be kind of under our dark, and so we really don't want that. So like I just choose to always go back and cover it back up. It takes a little time, but it makes it look really nice. Looks great on my end. Okay, thank you. All right, we're over here. Like I said, you got to keep turning your piece so that you're it's easy to paint. Like if you're struggling with the brush, like turn your piece so that it's easy. And now I got my finger in the paint and got it on there. So we're just painting it black. Not a big deal, not hard, just time consuming. And like I said, if you don't have to use this big of a brush, use a small liner if you want to outline it. And I'll do that a lot of times, just outline it and then come back with the bigger brush and then fill it in. So you can do it that way too. Like you have to do what works for you, because what works for me or the person next door may not work for you. So try different ways, figure out what works best for you, what brush works best for you. And that's what you go with. Like my way is not the only way. So it's more about you using what works for you. So I'm just using the bigger brush so that you guys don't have to watch me go back and like fill it in after I lined it out. If I was doing this at the shop, I would probably use the liner and then come back and fill it in, but I'm trying to save time here for us. So here we got all this white on here, so this is really why I want to come back with our black and get our branches black. Otherwise we got that white and we lost our dark color, so our brown wouldn't show up as nice. So I gotta flip them over so I can get to the back side of this branch. And I'm just following the branches. That's all I'm doing. Nothing special. Resting that painting hand on this piece, like this. These 3 fingers are always resting on my painting piece when you're doing line work. Really makes a difference. You don't want to be holding your hand out in the air. Let me see, so we'll have class again in June, and I haven't picked that piece out. Is there a technique or a piece that you guys would like to see for class? Like it can be a one-time class, or it can be like this was a three-time class. I think this is our 3rd class. So is there something you guys would like to see that we work on? You can post that. So if anyone's local, the shop is now closed on Saturdays till the weekend after Labor Day weekend. Yesterday was the last Saturday for the summer. But like I could be open for parties or appointments to come shopping, especially if you're traveling. Like I will do that. It's just that there usually isn't anybody. Yesterday I did have 3 people, and then the Saturday before I had 1, like at 2 o'clock, and I closed at 3. And so that's why I'm closed for the summer, which is typical for ceramic shops. Maybe not the paint your own pottery shops, but more of the traditional ceramic shops. They always did close on Saturdays for the summer because people are just too busy and just not on the top of their list to come painting. So I'm basically doing the one side of the branch, and then I tip it because now I can get, there's a curve to it. And so now I can get to the other side just by tipping it. So don't be afraid to tip your pieces and move them. Like that's really, some people are afraid sometimes at the shop to like pick up their pieces and hold them and move them so that they can access what they're painting easier. So you can imagine if this was on the table, like, and you were trying to paint it, it would be a lot harder. So like I tend to paint on my lap. Hair and beards for gnomes. Okay, that's a good one. So there anything anybody else is thinking they want to see? That would probably be a one class session. That's a good one. I was actually thinking about doing the, I have the Clay Magic 4x4, that Jeep looking thing, because I usually actually just paint that, which is kind of different than dry brushing, like it's just painted, so that would be something different. We could do chalks, we could do magic metals, we can do different products, we can do different techniques, we can do different pieces. So you guys let me know what you wanna. I can show you how to wire a Christmas tree, any little things like that. So now Facebook no longer keeps the live videos. After 30 days, they do delete these. And so I will be uploading this as soon as I finish to my computer. And then I'll download it to the computer, and then I'll have to upload it to YouTube. And so these will be moving to YouTube along with all my other videos since 2019. And I did finally get them all downloaded to the computer last week. And the next thing will be uploading them all. Chalks. The classroom is closed on Saturdays. Yep, Penny, it's closed on Saturdays till Labor Day. I will message you because I have, I was hoping to have your mother of pearl poinsettia tree done today, but things didn't work out this week for that. But if you can't come on a Saturday, I will meet you, or you can come and let me know ahead of time that you're coming or something, and I'll post that I'm there. So we'll work it out so you can get your stuff. And I do have your booby tree fired too, so we'll message at another point and get you squared away. You'll have to take vacation on Tuesday so you can come to the shop. All right, so we're almost done with our branches. We got one more branch. Well, and all these little ones. So like I was saying, the Facebook no longer saves live videos. They only save them for 30 days. And so when I'm finished with the live, I download it to the computer. I haven't started uploading them to YouTube yet, and it'll be under Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque on Facebook. Not on Facebook, on YouTube. Sorry, you guys. And so they're coming. I've been sick. This is like the 6th week of me with this cold, and today's like maybe the 2nd or 3rd day first that I actually feel pretty decent and like doing anything. And so I'll get caught up with things. I'm just looking for Tuesday to take off. Yep, okay. that works too. Otherwise, we'll figure something out, Penny. So Tuesdays I am open 10 to 8. And I still do parties and appointments and all that. It's just that I'm closed Saturday because usually I'm sitting there by myself. So, like today I had a 4-H group, 4-H group, and so like I still do all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, if a group wants to come on a Saturday and they're for sure coming and not going to bail out, like you can message me for an appointment and we'll work it out. All right, so I'm getting our tree done. And so I am working on putting all of our videos, including the subscription box videos, on YouTube, but I haven't started that yet because I just got them downloaded, and I know it takes longer to upload them than it takes to download them, so it's probably going to be like a 3-month process. It's not going to be a fast process. And like tomorrow I have shipping containers being delivered for our molds to get our molds out of the storage unit so I can stop paying rent because they keep jacking it up. And so like tomorrow I won't have time. So like it's going to be as I have time to do it. But they'll be all coming to YouTube. I would say by the end of the year they should all be on there. So we're just getting our little branches here all looking black. And you can see they look really nice with the black on them. So see, anybody else got questions on mine? Week 9 of my stupid chest cold. Yeah, I don't know if I had COVID or what, because what I have now for like the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks is this really dry, wicked cough. That just, it don't stop and it don't stop, and nothing, like I've tried every like cough syrup there is and sucking on thing that there is and all of that, so it's just really frustrating. But now today the cough has been less. It kind of got worse for the last 3 days, but now it's better here today. So, but it's hard to sleep, and you just cough until you gag, and but I know it's what's going around because other people have it too, and they're saying the same thing. So it is just what's out there, and unfortunately I caught it. So I hope you get over yours, because 9 weeks is a long time, and I'm like sick of the 6 weeks, so I can't imagine 9 weeks. All right, so we're getting almost done on our branches here. I did add a few things to the website, although the inventory is low on them. There's only 2 of each, but like they're poured, cleaned, and cleaned. I just need to get more fired, and then I'll be able to increase the inventory. We'll be having Christmas in July, kind of a special for the subscribers, but there'll be lots of stuff for other people too if you're not a subscriber. I'm working on that Advent Christmas tree. The tree is painted, so I can do those instructions, and now I was hoping to get the little ornaments painted this weekend, but it's just been too busy. Confirmation and the 4-H class and shop hours, but that will be the next thing. So I will be posting that as a pre-order that will ship in July. Hopefully by the end of the week I can get that posted, so I know if I need five or if I need 20. So the tree takes 2 days of sitting in the mold to pour, so it's going to kind of be limited, but I'll keep pouring them even after the Christmas in July. Then I'm also working on those vintage Alberta mice advent calendar that we're going to do. And so I have like 13 sets of those poured, and Pam's got them cleaned, and I just got to get those fired. And I wasn't going to paint them, but now I'm going to paint them, so there'll be a paint instructions with your little kit. There's going to be little boxes that each one goes into, so it's just like an advent calendar. All right, so let's touch up our black back here, as long as we're touching up black. So that's coming too for Christmas in July. A whole bunch of stuff. So probably a bunch of the gear. I can't think of what they're called. Like the Starry Night lights. Those So there's a bunch of gear stuff coming too for Christmas in July. So I'm just touching this up a little bit because like it's been moved around here at my house a few times and it's dusty here. And... all right, so we'll let that dry. Let me wash this brush out. Put that aside, and I'm going to take a drink. All right, so now we have our tree branches. And so you can see our tree branches, hopefully. So we're going to start with some browns. So we can go with, I think I went with walnut the way it looks. So you go from a dark color, work your way up to a lighter color. Then I like to go rosy tan, and then probably light brown. Light brown, and then some cargo pants. Where's the cargo pants? Peach fuzz. Cargo pants. All right, so we have our walnut. We're going to shake that up. It's our OS 472, and I'm going to have to put a piece of candy in my mouth or I'm going to be coughing here in a minute. Give me 1 second. Chloroseptic. Yep, I've tried them. But like it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just this dry, wicked dry cough. All right, now I'm going to go to a flat. Oh, there goes my liner. I like a flat guy. And these are kind of small branches, so I'm going to go to a number. This is a number 1. It's a boar bristle brush. Work that in there and kind of brush it out. You don't want to stab and dab like that. You actually want to brush. And now you can use your the wide way or the sideways way. So I tend to like to use it the sideways way. The side way. And we can get our branches with brown. And I'm just brushing across them. So you can see now we have that nice black shadow there. So that's what we gained by outlining our branches. And these branches kind of go down a little bit. So you might have to tip your piece and kind of go on the edge to get the sides of them so that the sides of your branches aren't black. We actually want that brown to come around the sides. Okay. And as it gets fatter, like you may not have, like I don't have to tip it here because there's plenty of space there to get the brush on there. And then we got these little ones. And so I'm just brushing across them. I don't want to brush with them. I want to brush across them. If I brushed with them, I would probably get color on my wolf. And so I'm just brushing across to get the top. And then I'm really careful when I go on the side, so I'm not getting too wide and getting my wolf. But I want to get a little bit of that. You can see there's a lot of black on the side if we don't tip it and kind of go at it at an angle. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing up here. Just kind of go across your branches. Like these go really quick, even though it takes a little bit of time to do that outlining. But it makes them look really nice if you can take that extra time to do that. And then our branches get bigger here. So we're just going to keep going across. So just kind of go across the top. And then kind of go along the side. Like I don't want to go real far down. I'm trying to keep the brush in the black. So like we have this little ledge here, and that ledge, hopefully you can see that. That's what I'm trying to get my brown on without getting it all over the wolf. And so I just try to stay away from the wolf, but kind of go on that ledge and get that brown so that that whole branch is brown and not just the top of it. Okay. And so we'll just keep working our way down our branches. And these actually go pretty fast. And I had tried I did try the branches with the white birch look, but it didn't look good with the white wolf. Like, it was just lost, and so I actually did go back and paint them black and redo them as brown branches, because it just looked a lot better than with the white birch. But I did try the white birch, and I just didn't like it. It didn't have enough color to it. So maybe if the wolves were both dark, the white birch would be a good choice. And if you wanted to do that, you'd start with like your black, and then go to like ash, and then gray, and then white. Like, you want a dark, medium, and light color, usually when you're dry brushing. That's what gives you all those different shades. All right, so we're just coming along our branch here. I mean, there's just like a little shelf here once you turn it, and then you just go along that shelf. And then you can come back on the top, and then that bottom shelf. It's like the turning part of the branch, the three-dimensional part of it. Because we don't want just the top brown and then the sides black. We kind of want the whole branch brown, except for our little black down in the crevice where they meet the rock or the wolf. Wait till my daughter hears I had 911 at the house, you guys. She's gonna think I'm getting too old to do all this stuff or something. And all I did was tried to move the phone so you guys could see better. No more doing that. All right, so we kind of got our branches all with our dark color. Okay, so next is going to be our medium color, which is our rosy tan, which is a reddish tan, reddish brown, and we have that in that wolf, so that's kind of why I went with that. So rosy tan, OS 531. I've never even needed the 911 for an emergency yet alone for painting class. All right, so I'm going to use my same brush because it's browns, and it'll just give us a gradual change of color. I'm going to work that brown into my brush, and now I'm going to probably get more of just the top part of our branches and not so much the sides, because we're just highlighting it. And so I'm just dragging it across there really light. And so if you go really light, like I'm not getting any on my navy, and I'm just dragging it across the brush, the branch. And that way it's like I'm not really brushing back and forth, I'm just kind of dragging it across. That way it just hits the highest part of that branch, and we're not getting it all over our wolf in our background, so that we have to do a lot of touching up. And where our branches get wider, I will come along that step edge a little bit, but these little skinny ones, I don't worry about that. But wherever the branch gets wider, and you can, because you don't want it just on the top, then you want to take it around the sides a little bit. Okay, so let's get it here. And again, I'm going to go on this little edge here, just so there's a little bit of highlighting there, and then more highlighting on top, and then less along that side. And then just work our way right on down that branch. Same thing here on the other side, and down this one. A little bit on here. Now, this is bark that has peeled back. And usually our bark is darker than our wood. The bark is darker than the wood in a branch. And so I will put a lot more. So this area right here is the wood exposed from the bark. And so I'm going to make that really a lot lighter because that's the actual wood and not the bark. And so we want to make that stand out a little bit. So there's some there, and then there's a little piece right here too. And so that just gives our piece more character. All right, so we're just going to keep going on our branches here. Oh, wait till Cousin Pam hears that I had 911 here. Nothing like creating a problem. All right, so I'm just doing the sides of my branches that are wider that I can. Top and bottom. And then just brushing across. Just catching that top lip of those branches so that we're not getting it all over our wolves. Okay, so our branches are coming right along. You guys are really starting to pop out. So from the rosy tan, we can go to light brown. Nope, that's rosy tan. So now we'll go to our light brown, just a touch of light brown, which is our OS 467. So you only need a little bit of that. And again, we're in the brown family, so I'm just going to use my same brown brush. And now I'm going to very lightly touch it just to highlight it. And maybe not in every inch of the branch, kind of a here and there, so that the higher areas are like highlighted more. And again, I'm just dragging it across there. I'm not really brushing as we're used to with dry brushing. Just kind of dragging it. I'm getting the very top. I won't do the sides on this one with this light brown. Just kind of the top a little bit, so that gives it more dimension because we have our dark, medium, and light. And not a whole lot, just some here and there. Okay. Right out to the end. Okay, and now we have our wood that's exposed. So we want that a lot lighter than our branch, our bark. So we want that to look like that's been exposed, and so I'm going to put more light brown on there. Okay, and then I'm even going to put a little bit of cargo pants on there yet to make it a little bit lighter. OS 441, and cargo pants to me has like a brown. It's in the cool family. It's got brown in it instead of the peach. Peach fuzz would be warmer. Again, I'm going to brush that out. And now the only area I'm going to put that is like right on the top of this, real lightly, real soft. But now it looks like the wood, like when you buy lumber, it's that nice light color. And so that's our exposed wood there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So let's put this guy in the water actually, because I'm probably done with him. So I think our front is pretty much done. We did our charcoal in there. If you wanted, you could go with a little pink, but I kind of left it like that. So now we have our back. So our back, I tried to make it look more like a rock. So we're going to use some charcoal and then some, I think some ash and some gray. Where are you, Mr. Gray? That's Snow Cloud. I got them all here in my little handy dandy spinner. Ash, all right. So we're gonna go, so again, we have our dark, medium, and light. Let me show you guys that. So if you don't know like what colors to pick, let's get these browns out of the way. Pick your colors, shake them up good. You can look at the bottoms. So we have a dark, and we have a medium, and we have a light, as in the tone of the color or the color value. So that's how I look at my colors. All right, so let's go to our charcoal first, which is our OS 475. We'll need a pretty good puddle of that. And now I'm going to go to a bigger flat brush. because we have a big area. This is my size 5. I'm gonna go into my charcoal, work it in there. Again, don't stab and dab like that, just brush back and forth. And we're going to, I go back into it, and now I go a little bit, I don't brush it out as much as when we do dry brushing. This will all even out. This just isn't as dry as the rest of it. And so I'm gonna brush across, kind of a hit and miss, so that it, I don't want it completely solid with the charcoal. So we're just kind of go hit and miss. And I'm just here and there. And then I did the sides the same way. Just so it has, like, I guess, like a slate kind of rock look to it. And so I would say it's like a semi-wet brush. It's not our usual dry brush that we really brush it out. So this goes pretty fast doing it like this. It's probably not a true wet brush either, but it's like I said, I guess semi. So I just dip it, brush pretty lightly on there a few times, and then just go back and forth. Just kind of nice big swipes. And so we try to get kind of even too, so like there's not much here right now, but there's more here. So I want this area to look more like that, so it's more even in color, although it's not solid in color. Like we have a lot of black coming through. I want to keep like that slate look to it. And now there's a few heavier ones here, so I probably need to get a few heavier ones over here. And then I'm touching down a little bit more with the brush to do that. But first I start out kind of lighter brushing, and then add a few heavier brushes to get those darker ones in there with more color. And there's probably other ways to do this, but this is just what I did when I did this guy. So if you get a lot like that, like, don't sweat that, because we're gonna make it all blend together so it just looks like a rock. And then we have our edge over here, so we want to get on our edge as well. And we kind of want to have like the same amount of gray or the charcoal over here as what we have in the middle. So like that wouldn't be enough. We would want more. So it's kind of even, I guess you could say. But it's not the even that we're used to when we're dry brushing and like if we were fully covering this with charcoal and just leaving the black in the crevices over here. So I tried to make it like a quicker project by doing it like that. And you come right around the side. And here I just kind of went at an angle because we got these layers of this slab up here too. And so this is kind of a big slab area, so I just want to, it's going to be really close, but I don't know how else to get it in the camera. You just come right over it. And I just put a little bit, because we have some blue on this side too, but just kind of get some gray on here. The charcoal, charcoal. And kind of work our way around here. So I'm kind of going at an angle, not straight. If you get too much, sometimes you can just wipe it. And then because it's kind of hard to go this way, I just kind of go across the top, but then I go this way here. And you can angle it whichever way you want, like it's not a big deal at all. And then we'll come back and get some over here. So now we want to get this side here. So I just go from the front back. so that I'm not getting it all over my front. I'm just getting it on this first edge of rock here. And then we'll kind of flip it around and come around the corner here. So you want it kind of even, as in if you have a lot of big streaks, you want to have a lot of big streaks. If you have a lot of little streaks, then you want a lot of little streaks all over. You don't want some big here and then none over there. So like right now we have, like this looks real good through here, but this through here looks like it's missing some of the lighter brushing. So I'm gonna brush a little bit lighter because we have a lot of black coming through here. So I'm just gonna brush a little bit lighter and get a little bit of more of our charcoal over that. See how that just blended that together now just by doing that? And like we have a bigger piece here, but we don't have none here. So I'm just gonna get my little bit wetter brush and just kind of brush it on there. So you can just add it wherever you want to. So that actually looks pretty good. So from there we will go to our ash. You are cutting out so bad we can't hear what you're doing. Yeah, like the phone service is really bad here right now. I don't know what to tell you. Like our cell com's been out since Wednesday. OS 567. And so we're gonna get a puddle of that. Sorry, I'm gonna use my same brush. Kind of wet again. And now I'm just gonna brush kind of lightly over the whole thing and just kind of fill in. So we have like a rock look to it. You can go over some of the charcoal, the bigger pieces of charcoal if you want. You'll do your edges a little bit. So just brush back and forth, kind of wet. You can have bigger areas or little areas because like every rock looks different, and so we just make it look like it's a rock. I can hear you. Okay, good. So I'm just brushing my back to get the ash on there. Just kind of making it all kind of blend together, even though it's 3 different colors we're going to be doing. And then you got to kind of move it. So you can see there's a difference here. Like this is just the charcoal and this is the charcoal and the ash. And so now we got to get our ash on the sides, but because this is real, you have these edges on there, it's going to grab it really, really strongly. So be really, really kind of light with it. You're going to brush a lot lighter than you did on the back. But you do want to get some ash on here too. And then we have this flatter surface here, so we're just going to brush across that. And so I'm always going horizontal for the most part, except for on the top, because like I want my rock to be like have horizontal lines. Like slate is kind of a one directional thing. I want to come over here and add some from the front to the back on this edge too. We'll put some navy back over that. So now that the top, I'm not going this way because we're going that way. We're going horizontal with our rock, and so we have to go horizontal up here too, because it would be like the side view of it. So to get these edges here, you kind of got to go at an angle so that you really don't have like vertical lines in it. And then we go horizontal across the top because our rock is going horizontal. That might be a little hard to understand, but because we're going horizontal, it's just the way it would be cut. It would still be going horizontal across that top. Okay, and now we're going to do our side here. And this is where you're going to want your brush brushed out a little bit more because these edges are really going to grab the paint. You can see it really grabbed it there, but that's okay too. And you want to get some on here. And if you want any along here, you can add a little bit there. And again, we're going to get some more. So I'm going horizontal again because this piece, I'm imagining that it's cut like on a horizontal, like when it was created in layers instead of like mixed up in a roundabout, like you're mixing up cake batter, like it's all tumbled together, a rock that would be all tumbled together. This is more like layers of a rock, trying to make it look like slate. So we got these ridges here again, so I'm going to go really light. And if you go across them, I guess instead of against them, that will help you to not have too much. Like if I come this way, they're probably going to be stronger. Like it's going to, well, I guess not. I guess it's just the opposite. If you go this way, it's stronger. But we want some of that on these areas too, because like you can see it's like layers that are built up. And then maybe we need a little bit here. So I can see I got like a big amounts here and here. Like all of this has big, and these are all like little. So I kind of want to get a heavier one in there. See, I just put a heavier one in just by going, that's a little too heavy. But that's how you can make it even. When I say to get your color even, like your big areas even. So it's kind of all over now. Still seems like it needs something here. Maybe through here. All right, so that looks pretty good. So from there, we're going to go to gray, OS 574. This one you're going to want to be really careful with. You don't want to get too much of this because it's really light. And again, I'm going to use my same brush because we're still in the gray family. If I was going to yellow or blue, I would change brushes. So this is just the gray OS 474. And now we're just going to really lightly, more dry brushing, just to kind of even out the whole back. And I'm just going to kind of go over the whole thing. And that's going to just kind of like bring it all kind of together. So it doesn't look like I just got streaks of color. So all this light, but you're going to go really, really light. So like I'm doing more of a actual dry brushing now. You can see I'm going back and forth, touching it, barely touching it. Just getting a nice light layer over that whole back. That's just kind of bringing it all together now. And I'm going right over this edge here because that's going to be highlighted. And then when you get to your this top, so we're going to go over this whole top. I'm kind of rushing too, so we get done tonight, but I would probably go a little bit slower and take a little more time doing it. So you can see on our top now, like we don't have vertical lines going against our layers. We're kind of going with our layers here now. And so now we want to go on the edge of these because they would be highlighted. You want to be careful because like that gray is going to really pop on there. So you just want to brush pretty lightly. And so that's how I do slate. I mean, that's just one way of doing it. I'm sure someone else probably has another way. And then we have this flat side here, so I'm just going to brush horizontally across that, kind of like I did on the back, because there's more surface exposed there. But I still want them going horizontal. I don't want to go up and down so that it looks like it's the layers of the slate. And then if you need some on the front, you can come kind of down the front here. And then kind of the same this way. See how it can get really, really bright on you? Brush that baby out. like I'm like barely touching it. And then we're gonna do this side with our horizontal, kind of this whole little big flat area here. And that's just gonna bring that whole slate look together. And then we want to get our sides. I'm just working my way down. Now I think I want maybe a little bit more. So you can add a few of so these are going to be like a little bit streak. You can add a little streakiness to it too with the gray if you wanted it to have some lighter highlights in it. Like I just have it turned on its side to kind of put in a few little heavier gray lines. Like we did it kind of all over it, but now I'm doing more like we did before with the kind of hit and miss thing, just to add a little bit of our gray color to it too. And now I'm kind of back to the wide part again. I'm just going to kind of do the whole thing. I think I want it a little bit lighter. So see, that just went right over that, and it like just kind of blended it all together there by doing that. So it just looks like a nice cool rock. And then you can come along the side here if you want a little more on there. And maybe we'll put a little more on here too. And if you go like at an angle instead of straight at it, it like catches it a little more. You can get a little more color, and you kind of don't have brush marks that way too. So I'm kind of going at a little bit of an angle. And I think that looks pretty good. So now you want to look at your front. So this is a little strong right here. I'm going to come back with a little bit of charcoal, I think, and just kind of tone that down a little. Or if you wanted that to be all nighttime sky, you could like do it all with the navy if you wanted to. But I kind of highlighted it like that. All right, then I would go back to my navy, our OS 460. And we'll get a drop of that. And we'll take another, I tend to like flat, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is my size 3. Go into my navy. And then if I need to, like now I have a lot of white on my navy right here, so I kind of don't like that. So I'm just gonna like touch that up and take that back off of there. But you could leave it on there if you wanted. I just tend to not like it. So if you want, you can go around your whole like top layer of slate and get any of the grays off of there if that's what you like. Or if you like it on there, leave it on there. Like it's whatever you like. So I tend to like to come back and touch it up and get it off, and just have the navy on the front without the gray. Okay, so now when this is done, I would seal it with a matte sealer. I tend to use the aerosol usually, but the brush on works just as good. And then once that's dry, which is only a few minutes, just painting that so beautiful, thank you. Then I will come back with gloss brush on sealer and put it on the eyes and a little bit on the noses. I don't know if that's dust, or I guess I put charcoal on there. I might put that back to black. That looks like a little too much. So you can touch up your navy wherever you want. But that looks pretty good to me. Well, it's going to look different because it's fresh paint and it's dried, and where the others has been dried for a couple weeks. But it'll dry to where it needs to be. All right, and then we're going to come back to the black. That's just a little too much on there for me. So I'm just going to I don't know if I got gray on there or what happened. I didn't like that on there so much. I'm just going to put a little more black back on there. And if you need to touch anything else up, like you can touch on anything up. And that's really it for our piece. Not too bad. So like I said, I would just spray this with a matte sealer and then take the gloss sealer and put it on the eyes, on the nose, and then on that nose. That eye is shut, so you really don't need it on there, but that's really all there is to do in it. So I hope you guys enjoyed our Wolf Rock, and he is available on the website, Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, and I will be updating the quantity of him. I will also type up the instructions and make an instruction packet. The videos, Facebook does delete them after 30 days, so I will be putting them on YouTube, but it may be a little bit. I got a lot going on this week. I have shipping containers coming tomorrow for our molds to get them out of rental storage. So that is our rock, and it looks like it kind of has a rock look to it. I didn't want it just like dry brush, so I gave it more of a rock look, kind of with a semi-wet brushing. And then we talked about it earlier when we were doing the eyes. I do have this laminated eye handout guide, front and back. We have the step-by-step, just like we did for our wolf. We have like the human eyes. We got them looking left, looking right, looking cross-sided. We got the big round eyes on it. We got bird eyes. We got dragon and frog eyes. We have eyes that would be on the side of a head, like of a bird, how to put your highlights in those. Like a horse, a cow, dogs, these big eyes. Then I have the cartoon eyes looking right, looking left, and looking cross-sided. And then with that, you also get my one of my favorite liners, which is the 504585 for doing eyes. It's a package deal. The subscribers did get this in their box as an add-on last month, so that was a huge benefit for them. But this is available on the website if anyone needs help with eyes. There is an eye video on YouTube painting piggyback eyes. They're nice big eyes, and they're doing this type of eye. And then I will get these videos from our free classes onto the website, along with all of the subscription box videos, because Facebook won't hold them anymore past 30 days, so those will be on there. And a lot of that bisque will be on the website too. So I think that's it. If anybody's got questions, you guys can let me know. Sorry about hitting I don't know how we hit 911, but having to do that phone call and the police officer knocking on the door, but we're all good and safe, and our piece is done, and I think it looks pretty great. So I'm happy with it, and I will look through your comments to see what we should do for next month, which again will be the third Sunday of the month. Not sure which day that is, but it is the third Sunday of the month. Sometimes it is at a different time, so watch the times. Otherwise, I think that's it, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed our Wolf Rock, and we will see you next month for your free class. All right, bye everyone. Thanks for joining me.